Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 49 coming in another community shoutcast for the ODL2 Dota League Season 2. We're loading into game number 4, the best of 5 grand finals between Blink Dota and 5IP. Blink Dota actually, they went for a momentum-based lineup with the Chen as well as the Dragon Knight and the Razor in the mid lane. So the rationale behind it was they were meant to find their levels, utilize the advantage of the Brewmaster in these early team fights to be able to help get them towers, and rely on the tower gold for the win. But when you go for that kind of lineup, and when you don't ban out the Undying, 5IP they're able to counteract that very handily, because without Undying they can drop the tombstone, take these fights 5v5 and convincingly win them. And because they had the superior mid to late game lineup, since they had the Leshrac Mule in the mid lane actually completely destroyed Snow over on that Razor, and every single time Snow rotated or was forced out of the lane, he was able to take a tower. So Blink Dota respect bound to the Undying coming up for them. We've got Titans there as well, so Lycanthrope coming up from 5IP. As 5IP once again have the first pick, but they're choosing not to tempt fate again. The game number 1 they picked up Lycanthrope, even though Lycanthrope was able to find an exceptional amount of farm over in the jungle. And because he hammered their picks and forced them to go for dual lanes, wasn't able to rotate and counteract the Greed coming up from Yoshi, was able to find a very early Blink dagger as a 4-position tanking. The triple Blink, triple tanky and core lineup coming up from Blink, able to run them over. So Lich, once again, first pick. Lich been seeing a lot of action up from 5IP and Blink respectively. 5IP like to run Lich because it gives them the possibility of running dual lanes, very aggressive dual lanes. Lich plus another hero as a safe lane farmer does very well against the off lane because Blink, they never play dual lanes, they always play tri lanes. They always go for the 3-1-1. And the way to counter that is you shut down the mid and you shut down the off lane. And so Lich up against constantly being able to zone out the off lane by throwing out the Frost Blast, being able to leech his EXP and denying experience and gold through sacrifice, is able to hamstring Zeke. So every single time Zeke's off to a slow start, the rest of his team have to pick up the case. That places all the pressure then over on Snow as the mid lane player to be able to control the tempo. And if you're then able to shut down Snow through rotations, if you're able to kill him or actually out-CS him in lane, then things start to fall apart for Blink. Because they are so dependent on Snow being able to control the tempo of the mid-game, or the early stage of the game where he's able to rotate and set up kills. Especially since Flash, he's usually the one, he tends to go for very conservative items. They either make him pick up a lot of utility items when he's playing the Doombringer, or they give him a lot of carries. They're dependent on being able to win the mid-game, such as the Dragon Knight. And so Blink Dota, if they're unable to really win their mid lane and their off lane, things start to fall apart. Even if Flash gets an obscene amount of farm, because of the heroes that they give him tend to be very reliable, very durable mid-game tanky trifle heroes, he can't take over the game on his own. He needs set up from the other two offlaners. And so all you have to do to interrupt Blink's death ball, which they're so famous for, is to be able to introduce enough friction and force them to delay them from the group of 5 and their push by being able to delay their farm, delay their item, and start taking their towers when they start taking yours. So Doombringer and Skywrath Mage, this is the first game, the best of 5 series of Skywrath Mage has been picked up. Skywrath Mage, currently the most powerful support hero in the game, with the current meta because of how aggressive he is and how much damage he's able to output as a support hero. He's doubles as a ganking hero because once the Mystic Flare comes online, he can man-fight any other support hero. The Arcane Bolt gives an obscene amount of damage. So if Skywrath Mage ever catches out Lich on his own, set up his concussive shot, Ancient Seal, and Mystic Flare in the face. So Skywrath Mage has a huge amount of aggressive capability that works well with the Doombringer because the biggest drawback of Doom as a 1-position or 2-position farmer is he gives you no damage. Doombringer, you pick him to anti that carry. That's the whole point of Doom. He's not a carry, he's an anti-carry. If he gets enough farm, he can maybe function as a carry. But 5IP, going for the Omniknight pickup. Every single time you don't Doom the Omniknight, you're going to lose that fight. Because Omniknight, he is the lever upon which 5IP ban them off. If they're not able to control him, if he's able to get that Guardian Angel off, you're going to lose that fight because you don't have any way to deal with damage through the Guardian Angel. You don't have a natural diffusal lane carrier. And even if you do, because you're forced to spend 3,300 gold to even deal damage in fights, the Omniknight pickup just walks all over you. The fact that your carry doesn't have to buy a BKB, Repel lasts for 12 seconds and has a 14-second cooldown. It's one of the most overpowered abilities you get. The only reason why it's balanced is because Omniknight needs such a huge amount of golden experience to be effective. That's why 5IP run in the dual lanes. And so we've got Razor as well as Tanking, so respect bound to both Snow and Yoshi respectively, as Razor does a lot of work up against the Omniknight because he's able to come online very quickly as a carry, and even if the Guardian Angel works, as long as the Snow's able to keep himself alive, utilizing the side link is able to get enough damage to start turning things around. And so Phantom Assassin and Faceless Void being banned out, so Mule's Phantom Assassin hasn't been picked up at all during this best of 5 series because they are very afraid of it. Omniknight and PA, that combination alone is enough to be able to win these fights decisively. And Mule in that mid lane, even if you are able to delay him, you can't stop the Mule train. It comes right at you, it runs all over you. The supports, if they were called out, Skywrath Mage, if he gets hit by a Starfling Dagger, Mule just blinks on him and kills him instantly. So Zeke, you're going to be playing that Centaur Warrunner, and this is what Blink Dota love to do. This is the same 3 calls that run every single game. Razor, Doombringer, and Centaur Warrunner. This is what they love to do. Because you've got that tanky call lineup, but the difference this time is they've only got one Blink initiator so far. Doom can blink and follow up with the Doom, but the only Doom target is going to be going for is the Omniknight. You've got Stampede to help him out with that, but you don't have Yoshi to be able to set up stuns as well with that Blink Burrow Strike. And because you don't have that Sanking to act as another Blink initiator, it's going to be very difficult, because a lot of pressure is going to be placed on Zeki to be able to blink in and put himself in harm's way and be able to land a good 1 to 2 to 3 man hoof stomp. You can get a good 2-man hoof stomp reliably every single fight, they can be started very decisively. But if the Centaur Warrunner pickup, if he's the only initiator you have, because Doom doesn't want to blink in on his own without somebody backing him up. He can blink in Doom, and then he can kill the Doom and back off, and wait for the Doom to wear off. So he needs Zeki there to be coming with him. So if you're able to disrupt Zeke's farm again, delay his Blink Dagger in the last game, despite having even being 1v1 of the face of the point up against the Brewmaster, Zeki, even though he had a 12-minute arcane blink, because the rest of his team fell apart so quickly, and because he was forced out lane so many times, he should have been having something like a 10-11 minute arcane to blink, and because it took him so long to be able to set up these reliable ganks, things started to fall apart. The advantage of the Centaur Warrunner is he gives you that tactical ability against the Lich with the Stampede. You Stampede, you run in separate directions, and the Chain Frost is now wasted, because Chain Frost, while it's a very unreliable ability, Ghoulie on that Lich is absolutely fantastic with him. And he then set up some amazing kills. Venomancer pickup coming up. And so Venomancer, the Omniknight work very well because you've got the D-General, so Omniknight runs in, gets in the AoE the D-General, that guarantees a Gale. And when you're hit by Gale, it's a 15-second snare, 50%. If you cannot purge off the Venomous Gale, so Dark Pact, BKB, Blade Fury, none of it will purge it off, and you'll snap for 15 seconds, you're gonna die when you fall down like that. Especially with Omniknight smacking on you with the purification available. Venomancer also provides you an obscene amount of teamfight capability. He's one of the most aggressive 4 or 5% heroes in the game, because it doesn't really matter if he dies, if he's able to throw out a Gale, a Nova, or even just a Nova and a few right clicks, if he dies, he's taking somebody down with him. Every single time he catches that Skywrath with the ult, Skywrath is going to die, assuming he takes 1 more ticket damage because the poison snake's going to bring him down. Venomancer very powerful at pushing as well as counter pushing as well, and we're actually going to be seeing a Visage pickup. And so Blink Dota, the biggest weakness of that draft so far is the lack of hard CC. Doombringer, he can eat the Centaur, so he's got that hoof stomp. Centaur Warrunner, he's the only stun in the team right now, because Visage, until he gets level 6, until he gets the Familiars, and even then, until he's able to position the Familiars properly, no hard CC available for Blink. And so, pre-level 6, that lineup is actually very weak. If they decide to go for a tri-lane, Visage and Skywrath Mage, they have a huge amount of offensive capability, but if he can turn, if Omniknight pops to repel, so he doesn't have to care about soul, so he can start smacking the Visage, Visage falls apart. He is absolutely paid. He's got 10% magic resistance. Visage and Meepo are the only 2 heroes in Dota 2 that have a different base magic resistance than everybody else. Every other hero has 25% base magic resistance. Visage has 10. Meepo has 35, so that means that the more purification and pure damage are mitigated, the amounts of Gale and Sting damage will deal absolutely massive amounts. So every single time Visage eats the Nova and a Sting hit from the Venomancer, he's going to die. It's going to give 5 IP a massive amount of power to be able to work around, because they also picked up the Wraith King. And Wraith King works very well against Skywrath and Visage, because they're heroes that rely on the Alpha Strike advantage. They deal so much damage up front that they're able to kill you and force you to break and run away. But the Wraith King, because he's got that reincarnate, he doesn't care if he eats a Mystic Clay, he doesn't care if he gets Soul Assumption. If he dies, it's actually useful for him to die as long as he's got that reincarnate out. Because if he's providing that snare, Skywrath makes it entirely dependent on his mobility to stay alive. And because he's so heavily dependent on the fact he's got that 325 movement speed, he's got absolutely invisible strength throw. Visage as well, he's actually a very slow hero, 280 moves speed on the Visage. If Visage dies and he's in that reincarnate AoE, he's got that debuff, Omniknight walks up to smack him in the face and says, "What's up?" Venomancer's able to bring him down. You've got the Lich with that Chain Frost, and so there's a massive amount of AoE magic damage coming up between the Lich and the Venomancer. But the Visage works very well against the Lich because you can actually juggle the Chain Frost back and forth with the minions. So it gives you more minions to be able to break the Chain Frost charges off. Silencer ban coming up from Blink, it's a Silencer hard counters their entire lineup. Every single time you hair Stampede, you press global silence. Because if Zeki blinks in and he's caught up with the silence, he's now dead, the rest of his team can't follow up, they're forced to break off. You take the Centaur Warrunner, and then Blink over, they can't fight 4v5. Until you're able to take towers. Morphling ban coming out is the only thing that Blink really lacked is a hard carry, but Ember Spirit still is available, so that could be something I could look to go towards. Ember Spirit actually does very well against the Omniknight because he's able to drag out the fight. He can constantly reposition himself using the Remnant. Since he's a hero that always stays at the edge of a fight, unless he gets caught out of position, they actually don't have any real hard CC to deal with. And so the Ember Spirit would be a fantastic pickup to work against them. But that being said, Ember Spirit as well, he relies on being able to find a large amount of farm. And what do you know? Blink Dota goes to the Ember Spirit, so we're going to be seeing Snow in that mid lane. The way to be able to counter this is to be able to destroy the Ember Spirit in the mid lane. Viper's available to actually go for a Warlock. And so this is a combo I've been talking to 5IP about. I was going to tell you about this Warlock and Venomancer. If you get Fatal Bonds and you get the Poison Nova off, their entire team is dead. Because the Fatal Bonds amplifies damage by 20%, spreads it up between multiple heroes, and provides lethal damage. Poison Nova, it deals obscene amounts of damage that then amplified by the Fatal Bonds, and it then becomes fatal. It's the only drawback with the Poison Nova is it deals non-lethal damage. And so if you Fatal Bond Catholic Offering, then catch up 3-4 heroes with the Nova, you have won that fight. Until BKBs come online, until they're able to farm up a pipe as well, you're going to decisively win these engagements. And so a huge amount of pressure is placed over on Snow, and that mid lane as that Ember Spirit. If he gets shut down, if he isn't able to find enough farm, and if Zeke and Flash once again are disrupted and aren't able to come online very early on, Blink does start to fall apart. They do have the superior late game lineup, and because they're the hardest carries in the game, but the drawback to the Ember Spirit is when he's fisting the instant Remnant, you drop the Catholic off everything you have. Wraith King blinks on top of you, stuns you in the face and smack him down. All they have to do in each of these fights is kill the Ember Spirit, because he's their only form of sustained damage. They've got a huge amount of pick-off power coming out from the Skywrath, Centaur, as well as the Visage. You've got the Blink, Hoof Stomp, followed up by the Mystic Flare, and the Soul Assumption that's still alive, and the Double Edge on top of that. So you're guaranteed to be able to kill 1-2 heroes if you pick them off at the very beginning. But once you've used those abilities, your teamfight power drops drastically, because those spells are now on cooldown. The Soul Assumption is the only one with a low enough cooldown to be able to spam out. You still got the Arcane Bolt, but considering the fact that Skywrath, if he's playing from behind or if he's playing dead even, with relative amounts of experience, he's not going to deal enough damage to turn these fights on his own. Flash, Doombringer, you don't pick him as a carry hero, you pick him as an anti-carry, because he provides you such a massive amount of these teams. All he has to do is doom the Omniknight every single fight. If you doom the Omniknight, you're going to be able to win that fight. If you don't doom him, the Omniscience is going to smite you, because the Guardian Angel comes out, the Repel comes out, he's going to purify whatever target that you catch out with the doom so they don't die within the doom. And then Doombringer after, once he uses the Doom, he's actually not that powerful until he gets a huge amount of farm. So it's the reason why a lot of teams like to run Doombringer in the off lane, as opposed to the safe lane farmer, because as a safe lane Doom, you can pick up a much more reliable hard carry, because the drawback to Blink's lineup is they do have some late game assurance with the Ember Spirit, but the majority of their lineup is going to be revolving around the first 30 to 35 minutes. After that point, they start to taper off. So Snow running to the mid lane, looks like Yoshi's actually camping this, we could actually be seeing 2 mid to ensure Snow has a good lane. And so that's good recognition coming up from Blink, because if they run the 3-1-1 again, and Snow gets completely zoned out by Mule, who's going to be playing that Warlock, things are going to fall apart for Blink, because there's so much pressure being placed on him. But the drawback to this, of course, is your top lane. Flash, as well as Blink Heavy Summer, you never want to dual lane with the Visage. Because Visage, especially if 5 IP run a dual lane against him, he's very powerful when he's sitting back, he's able to throw out Soul Assumptions. If he's in the front line, or if there's no other hero to be able to save him if he gets caught out of position, he falls apart. He's a very slow hero, he's very squishy, especially since he got 0 armor until level 4. Most Visage players don't level a point up in the Gravekeeper's Cloak until level 4. And so Visage is actually, he's complete food right now. So if you have 2 support heroes, you can have another support hero in front, and Visage hanging behind him. So all he has to contribute to these engagements is the Soul Assumption or the Grave Kill to set things up if you've got the other support hero to also provide the damage. But when you don't, and it's a dual lane, things start to fall apart very quickly, especially if they turn. Since Wolfguard, he doesn't really give a damn with Soul Assumption. He's got the Purification as well as the Repel to be able to ignore that. So Wolfguard, going to be the Omniknight once again, that 3-position roll. Ghoulie, going to be the 5-position Lich, already sacrificed leveled up at 1. It's going to be a deny creep in the mid lane. Mule going to be the mid lanes as a Warlock. So this is something that you usually see. You never run Warlock as a 4. He's a Corelock. You run him as that core position farmer, because Warlock, with a huge amount of farm, he will single-handedly win you the game. If you done that, MVP Phoenix against Virtus Pro in the TI4 wildcard qualifiers. Warlock with the Aghanim Scepter with a pressure roll. If you get 4 counter offerings off, with the double golem every single time, you can decidedly win the game just off the back of that. The golems, the Warlocks do a massive amount of damage. And Yoshi immediately rotating to the mid lane. He's going to be having an incredibly difficult lane. Because the advantage of Warlock is he right clicks like an absolute champ. Saruman doesn't give a damn. He hits very hard. He's very tanky. And with the Fatal Bonds as well as the Shadow Ward, he should be the Zonya Ward. So Yoshi, he's rotating to the mid lane, but Mule, he's actually not too fast. Yoshi can't out-TPS him because he's got the Shadow Ward, because he actually doesn't even have any tangos aboard. He's got 2 tangos pulled to him, because he knows he can rely on the Shadow Ward. Only as well as Broder, this is an incredibly powerful dual lane. This is one of the most powerful dual lane in Dota, because you've got the Gale to set up for the Wraith Fire Blast, and the Wraith Fire Blast gives you 3-4 free shots to the Zeke, at level 1, even with boots. Already dropped down to 400, he's already lost 400 HP from that. Bro, he didn't even commit the Gale, he actually went Sting at 1. So the confidence coming up from him, if he went Gale, it actually would have been a kill. But unfortunately, they still are able to zone him out quite handily. So Zeke, he's having a difficult game once again. When Zeke has a difficult start, Blink start to fall apart, especially once the mid game kicks in, because they're so dependent on Zeke to do well, to get that early blink. Because Centaur, one of the biggest drawbacks of that hero is if he's not able to get a timely blink dagger, he has no way to close the distance. You can Stampede and run at them, but when you're running into an Omniknight who can repel, purify, and Guardian Angel, or a Chaotic Offering going to be cutting out from Mule, things are looking very difficult. And Mule, even though he's 1v2, he's already zoning out Yoshi. He doesn't give a damn about the Arcane Bolts coming out from him. With the Shadow Lord, he's going to outlast him in terms of heals. He can out DPS him with the Fatal Bonds, and he can actually right click him. Skywrath's got 0 armor. Ember's got 1 armor. Mule just smacks the fool. He doesn't give a damn about the abilities because they don't have enough damage to kill him. And this is the biggest strength of the Warlock, because he's surprisingly tanky, because he has actually very high strength growth. Okay, I think he's got 2.3 strength growth per level, so he's actually, no, 2.5, he's actually higher than Enigma. So he's got the high strength growth of any intelligence hero in the game. It means he can sit tall, continue to throw out right clicks, and with that Shadow Lord on top of that, Shadow Lord lasts for 8 seconds, 25 heal at level 2. It's effectively better than a Salve at that point. Ghoulie, Scouts on the Haster is going to deny it to Snow. And with that Haster and Skywrath, Yoshi, all he can do is shed a tear and back off. Concussive Shot does nothing with the Haster. Ghoulie, you see him laughing. He's having a lot of fun with this. And they can afford to leave Wolfgun alone. Because what's the Visage going to do with the Doombringer? If you had Visage and maybe something like a Chaos Knight or a Wraith, he can play very aggressively, maybe a Lifestealer, he can play aggressively. But with a Doombringer, he's going to hit you with a Flaming Sword. That Flaming Sword isn't going to out DPS the Purification or the Repel. The Soul Assumption, there's not going to be enough damage coming up from Flash to give Bambi a good Soul Assumption. And so this dual lane's actually a bit of a mistake. If they actually play very aggressively, they can go for kills on this. You never want to pick Visage in a dual lane with a very passive safe lane farming. So Doombringer, like a Lycanthrope, he doesn't really, actually Lycanthrope would even be better because he provides you more damage than the Doombringer. Doombringer, he's there to be able to find his items and find that with those mid-game items. Can give him a lot more mid-game impedance for his team, since he's once again going to be the mech carrier. So that's the advantage of the Doombringer. But as a safe lane farmer, now Ghoulie's rotating over. Frostblasting Flash, providing the hate. Bambi, he's thanking the gods he didn't eat that one, since with 10% magic resistance, those Frostblasts hurt like hell. Ghoulie throws out cheeky right click, takes out 60 points of his life with 0 armor, with no points in the Grave Keeper's Cloak. Very fragile hero. And only left alone, eats a Hoof Stop, but Zeke, he's now out of mana. This is the biggest weakness of Centaur Warrunner. It's the reason why you don't see him picked up as often. He used to be first pick, first ban, or he'd at least be picked up almost every single game, because of how much survivability he had, and because his Hoof Stomp used to only cost 80 mana. Now it costs 130, you have 1 Hoof Stomp, then you're out of mana. And without mana, you're just a creep that can occasionally double edge people. You don't want to double edge the Wraith King, because he can man fight you. If you come at the King, you sure as hell don't want to miss. And only he's immediately trash talking. Wolfguard calling him out on that, saying it's his job. And Snow, the biggest drawback of Ember when he's picked up now, is he had to go react to take a blow right now. We're going to be seeing first blood! And Snow once again feeding Mule. Starting all over him. This is the power of the Warlock. Fatal Bonds doesn't give a damn. Saruman, he just smacks you with a stick. With the Fatal Bonds, you can't escape him. There's nothing that can outrange the Fatal Bonds. It's got near infinite range. If you Fatal Bonds with creeps, you keep hitting the creeps. But unmitigated damage is based off the damage the creep is receiving. And so he's able to zone out Snow quite effectively. And the dual lane, mid, completely fell apart. They are so dependent on this dual lane winning. And when it falls apart like this, Blink are in a very precarious situation. 5 IP, they only have to win 1 more game to receive the $400 for first place. So while I do wish it does go for Gendon fights, it's up to Blink to be able to turn this around. Ghoulie eats a Grave Chill, immediately throws out Frost Blast over and Bambi this time, so his former teammate receiving a lot of love. And Mule, he's got a double damage rune up on him. Considering how hard Warlock hits without a double damage rune, Snow has to be very careful. He still doesn't have his Remnant up. This is the drawback of the dual lane. Fatal Bonds is now being used over on Snow. He's going to be eating so much damage just from the right clicks of happening on creeps. And Snow, in terms of CS, he's actually got very little. He's got 10 CS. Wolfgun is out CSing him, and he's against a dual lane, with Ghoulie only being there every now and then. So Mule's able to completely dominate the mid lane once again. Flash is leading the CS scoreboard, but the biggest drawback of the Doombringer in the one position role is he can't really make as much use of it as another hard carry, because he's not going to be very effective as a late game carry unless your other heroes are farm. You never run Doombringer as a solo core, you have to run him as a tri-core. Where he excels is the fact that he can buy the support items for your team, he can buy the utility items, he can even pick up something like a Soul Caress or Shiva's Guard, and just be that tanky frontline presence. That's where Doom excels. You can't run Doom as a right clicker because you can pick up much more efficient right clickers, unless he's obscenely farm. But considering the state of the game, considering how effective 5IP are at dealing with the Doombringer, he just obviously repels himself, runs away, doesn't give a damn about the Grave Chill. Soul Assumption is going to be coming out from Bambi as well. He's actually going to be, it's a pretty poor game to make the Visage, especially since Yoshi's constantly camping mid, because you don't have enough damage to get a full charge Soul Assumption. And unless you're getting a full charge Soul Assumption, it chews through so much of your mana, it's not worth it. You never want to throw out Soul Assumption to do a bit of harassment damage, especially against an Omniknight to heal it back up. And Snow, there's absolutely nothing he can do, and he's frustrated. He's bottle crawling like a chav, he's doing everything he can to keep himself in this lane. But because he can't go anywhere near Mule without Mule just smacking him down, Chaotic Offering's now off. He's rotating to the top lane. Brodo, he's actually applying some pressure over the top lane as well. He's also rotated. Zeke, left alone against only, but the Reincarnate's coming off cooldown, are going to be available to him very shortly. This time, let's see if he's actually going to hold on to the skill point. Yeah, Mule, he's playing very patient. That Celtic Offering is a kill as well as a tower. It's the reason why Corelock is so damn powerful. Is when you get Celtic Offering 6 minutes in the game, there's absolutely nothing they could do. They could pray and they could run. And pray to God that your micro isn't good enough to catch him out. Another thing that goes in Warlock's favor is Upheaval. And later on in these engagements, Upheaval is one of the best abilities in the game. If you're able to get a good Upheaval off, because it's been consistently buffed in the last few patches, it now applies a 2-second sticky outside. Snow just barely dodges the Gale, so Broder kicking himself there. He's actually burned through half his mana just by expanding it. So he's going to be sitting in the mid lane, leeching a lot of experience, because they know that with the Celtic Offering up, Warlock with his Warlock Golem up, he's going to try to take that tier 1 tower. He's going to go for kills as well. The advantage of the Celtic Offering is the best initiation ability in the game. It's the most brainless initiation ability you can ask for. You literally press R and you click on them. It's got 900, actually 1,000 range. Mule, he doesn't give a damn. He wants to catch up Bambi. Celtic Offering drops, Bambi's got up, and then they immediately focus him. He's got the Grave Shield wears off, no boots up on Bambi, and Bambi pinging his teammates saying, help me please. He might actually live as he clears enough distance to be able to make it to the Tattoo Tower. No TP rotation coming. Yoshi's now rotated up. With the Celtic Offering zoning out there, 3 heroes drawing as Yoshi over to the mid lane as well, so that means that Broder, he's taking a fair amount of damage, but he should be able to stall in this mid lane, get his level 6 up, and only doing very well up against Zeke, because now once that reincarnate comes available, he's actually holding onto a skill point this time, so he's learned his mistake from game number 1. They're doing a fair amount of damage, force out of fortification. The Celtic Offering is going to wear off very soon, and so he's using that to be keep the creep wave back. He's not using it very aggressively. Mule is going to be very careful. Call it the Grave Shield, the Concussive Jaws, whilst the Arcane Bolt. Soul Assumption is going to be available in a few more seconds. Max level Soul Assumption flies out with Ghoulie, takes out half his life. Sacrifices the creeps, so Lich going to take your mana. They've got the Purification available, and with that Shadow Ward as well, they're still able to do so much work. They can't deal with the Golden Flash. He's been out DPS by a Golem. He's fleeing for his life. Yoshi actually loses almost all the life to the Ember lane and 1 Flaming Fist. That's why the Aghanim Scepter is so damn powerful in the Golem. And if you're able to get a multiple Flaming Fist procs with the 2 or the 4 Golems, once you have the Aghanim and the Refresher, you can win a fight decisively. That's an obscene amount of magic damage that you deal on them at the very start of the fight. Looks like that over goes, kill time, Ghoulie takes a fall, he eats the Ancient Seal, but exchange able to kill Flash and Mule. He's got the Shadow Ward coming in, pull down a few more seconds, he has to stay alive. Brian rotates in, catches out Yoshi. Yoshi coming up with the DJ Aura and the Gale. He is the one dead guy, man. Stampede being forced, actually might be keeping himself alive. Good ward being placed by Broder to be then short, sting damage might be enough to bring him down. And actually looks like Warrunner is able to bring down Mule, but Zeke could be training his life away. There might be just barely enough damage, though. Yoshi and Zeke just able to stay alive. And Snow, he's going to be able to find a kill over on Broder. Broder out of position, Flame Guard's able to mitigate all his damage, and he cuts him down. So, huge swing in favor of Blink. 5 IB, a little bit cocky, 750 EXP lead with the gold, the experience lead, 1,500. So 750 gold lead is going to be calculating in once those kills come in as well. So it's going to be about 500 in favor of 5 IP now. Arcane Boots now up on Wolfguard, so it's going to be able to spam out the Purification. The Purification and the Shadow Ward with the massive amount of healing that's available. And Snow, he's now with his Remnant now, so he doesn't have to be as afraid of the Warlock as before. Celtic Offering was used, unfortunately wasn't able to take a tower, was able to get a kill off that. But because they weren't able to initially pick him up, because Bambi got a Grave Shield as he got Celtic Offering, he was able to stay alive for the vast majority of that. So good recognition coming up from Bambi, turning around and Grave Shielding before he got called out with Celtic Offering, otherwise it would be the free kill. Especially since the Celtic Offering, you want to catch them in the center of it. So the Warlock, so they have to run past your Golem in order to get to safety, because your Golem is very slow. It's the reason why Warlock has the upheaval ability to be able to set it up for the Golem. So going for a lot of points, open the Fatal Bonds, we're going to max that out, and then usually Warlock can actually opt for a few points in stats, but when you're playing a Corelock, and when you're getting as much experience as Mule is receiving, you don't necessarily need the... Actually, there's something getting a call. You don't actually need any points in stats, because you're such a beefy hero, because you have such excellent stat growth, you just opt for maxing out the Fatal Bonds ASAP, because Fatal Bonds is going to swing these fights in your favor, especially with the Poison Nova available. It's a good recognition coming out from Only, this time holding onto his Reincarnate until he absolutely needs it. He's learned his mistake, looks like he's going to be farming a Blink Dagger, he's going to be having it much faster than Zeke. And with the point up in Frit, he can stand his ground. Zeke can try to go for a kill attempt, but Only's got the Reincarnate up. And this time he's not really too afraid. Bambi's there, Visage and Centaur Warrunner make a fantastic combo because you've got the double edge to set up the Soul Assumption. That's usually enough damage to be able to kill a single target. Grave Shield being used, he can try and go for this, but Broder, he comes and immediately zones them out. He's almost got enough points for level 6. If he had the Poison Nova available in that last fight, would have done completely differently. As 2 heroes, Yoshi as well as Zeke, just barely surviving. But Mule, holding onto his gold, is going to be going for that Aghanim Scepter straight up. Usually you actually see a hand of Midas over on Warlock. It's a fantastic pick on him because it gives him experience as well as gold. Now Warlock, he needs both. You want level 3 Celtic Offering ASAP. If you get it when their enemy hero, before they could get their level 3 ultimates up, or when they're level 11, level 12, you can single-handedly win fights just off the back of that gold. And Only, he's about 300 gold off his Blink Dagger. Zeke, without the Blink Dagger, he has to rely entirely on Stampede. And that's the biggest weakness of the Centaur Warrunner. He's fantastic if he can close the distance, but until he does, he's going to be very careful, because he's going to be running, if he Stampedes in, he's going to be eating Fatal Bonds, he's going to be eating Nova, he can even be eating a Red Fire Blast. And so it'll be very difficult for him to be able to get these good hoof stomps in, since he relies on me to pick off a single target and kill him at the start of the fight. Since that's the way that Blink Dota has drafted their lineup, they've got 3 heroes that provide a huge amount of execution power. Yoshi, he's going to be waiting until he gets that Mystic Flat, he can start playing a bit more aggressively against Mule, since he can out DPS the Shadow Lord. But Mule, once again, has got counter offering available. He might look to rotate and try to go for another kill. He's got Midas up on him, so Midas boots as well as Bottle. Not the greatest amount of farm over a Mule, but considering how hard he shut down Snow, he's not really too fast with that. So Snow forced to go for Drums of Endurance. King Killer, he usually does well enough that he can go for the Battle Fury ASAP. He can actually find a 14-minute Battle Fury up on him, so fast enough so he can go for it. But otherwise, if you don't think he can get it very early on, if you actually can shut down quite heavily, you have to go for Drums of Endurance to be able to provide you that stats to stay alive. Because Ember Spirit, you need a huge amount of intelligence for him to be able to do a lot of damage. He's so dependent on his mana pool to be effective. Because every single time your Searing Chainsaw Coolin, she can use it to kill. Familiar's being used, Stampede being used as well. Broder, caught out, is actually TPing out, the Familiars are there. Soul Subject flies up from Bambi. Classic Bambi contribution to a gank. Throws the Soul Subject to get the kill. Visage needs gold to be able to pay the bills, especially since he wants to go for the Aghanim Scepter. Probably going to be going for the Arcane Boots to ensure he can spam out his Soul Subject in his engagement. But Blink Dagger now available for only. And Zeki is 300 gold from it. If they're able to kill Zeki and delay that Blink Dagger, they can start to make a huge amount of space. The advantage of having that dual lane Visage is he's able to get his level 6 very early on. Broder, still no ultimate available for him. And the Visage familiars can actually bodyguard Zeki. So only, you know who can play very aggressively. Snow is actually taking ball. He's got that random place defensively. They could decide to commit to this with the Counter offering, since he actually doesn't have any mana to be able to use his remnant. He's bottle charging now. He's going to TP himself out after place get remnant, so good recognition coming up from him. The reason why you do this is it lets you go back to base, heal up, especially if you have a bottle, get all your bottle charge back up. Once you're back to full HP, you sit back to your remnant. The 5 IP, they're grouping up as 3. They've got the Chain Frost available. Actually, it looks like Chain Frost is used, so they're able to destroy the good chunk of that. They've got the Counter offering up now. And Broder, he really wants his Poison Nova. The only reason why the Warlock Venomancer, you can't do the Venomancer Warlock combination if you don't have the Poison Nova. You just don't do enough damage with Gale's thing along. Unless you're able to find a lot of experience up on him. Familiar's coming in. Lich Map creep wave, this is something Bambi was infamous for doing in ODL1. He was able to use the Familiars to keep Lich Map creep waves so that the backdoor regen will kick in. You can't go for tower kills. Tail ones, of course, they don't have backdoor regen. But when your heroes are the ones tanking the tower shots, it can make a difference. So what's being used to aggressively force the remnants back. Looks like they've actually got Blink Dagger now available for Zeki. You know, Blink Dagger, they have to be able to take this fight. If they're not able to take this fight and get a few takeoffs, things start to fall apart for them. Flash, he's actually got his mechanism up. So Blink Dagger, their lineup is starting to come online. They've got the Blink Initiation coming out from Zeki. They've got the mech up from Doom, so they can try to outlast him. That being used defensively, they're playing aggressively out, randomly forward. Only actually zips in, calling the Ancient Seal. Yo's actually going to carry the catch now too. Yoshi's going to be taking a fall. Only comes and kills his brother. But the remnant drop coming up from him, not blocking up the dueling. And former teammate. Oh boy, that's that pleasure of Bambi. Bambi forces some of his familiars again. If he takes a fall, things can be taking a difficult turn. Only some Blink Dagger coming up cooldown 4 more seconds. TP cancel from Flash. He's actually, he might be the TP out of time only. Very well last, he throws it, but unfortunately he's able to zip on out time. So the good recognition coming up from Bambi. His familiars are still alive as well. But 5 IP, with that Warlock golem up, they gotta start smacking the attack too. Things are looking grim for Blink. Because that line is so heavily dependent on momentum, because they don't have it right now, unless if Snow is able to find an exceptional amount of farm, it's very difficult for them to start to recover, especially if that tattoo tower falls. The 3,000 gold leaf flash, doing the only thing he can do, actually going for killer on Broder, should be to smack him down. Broder, not too sure what he was doing there without the rest of his team. We're going to either go a call coming up from Patty, flaming his own brother, 3,000 gold, he's going to be 4,000 gold once the tower falls. Snow in the Slim Fist there and chain combination on 2, but on his own, he can't do anything. He actually doesn't have enough mana to keep continuing into that fight. He's actually out of remnants as well. Besides the Familiar Duel being used to be able to try to leash back the creep wave, Gouldy's got Chain Frost now available, so they're going to try to take this next engagement. Omniknight, once again, Wolfgang loves to go for Drums of Endurance over on the Omniknight. It's a great efficiency buy on him, because with the DJ aura, so long as you can stay next to heroes in this fight, especially with the Warlock Golem up, all he has to do is sit next to targets to provide that DJ aura. If he can body block and provide that DJ aura, the Warlock will be able to provide DPS up on the hero. And so Warlock, he's actually got level 2 counter offering up. He's got 3,000 gold up on him. He's going to be having something like a 17, 18-minute Aghanim Scepter, especially if they're able to take this tower. Blink, they no longer can afford to trade towers from space, especially since they haven't been able to take any Tower 1 towers. The Tower on the off lane hasn't taken any damage, mid lane as well, and the bottom lane. They've got aggressive wards being placed, they've got safety ward being placed. That being used, only a Blink's down in time before Zeke's at the counter. Repel being used by Wolfgang. He's got Guardian Angel available. Reincarnate is available as well. They go in a Mule. Mule's the target have to prioritize. They have to bring him down. Fast stack of cash now going in their hands. Zeke caught up the Poison Nova. Familiar drop forces them back. And Zeke should be the TPO now, so they are finally able to clean up Mule. But Mule, while that's happening, And over the top lane, Ghoulie actually able to find a fair amount of farm. Nabo's TP looks like he's got to be the one going for mech duty. They have to catch out only, but only's got to reincarnate. And Wolfgang's turn the purification with a huge amount of damage. Only's about to reincarnate a few more seconds. No, he doesn't have enough mana for a remnant. If he uses the red bar blast, it's going to be a huge change. Huge chain frost coming up from Ghoulie. Catches up to the back of that. Yoshi gets caught in the chain frost. Oh, what the hell are the odds of this? Jesus, please! The chain frost coming up from Ghoulie. Ghoulie's actually hacking. Somebody on Valve shadow ban him. The chain frost bouncing back and forth, hits 4 heroes, cleans up that fight, and ensures the kill. Even though the remnants were there, even though it was a creep wave, bounces back to Yoshi. And with a Mule now reincarnating, coming back to the bottom lane, they should be able to take this tier 1 tower, and maybe even go for the tier 2. Blink, Splash in these team fights is providing absolutely nothing because he's got that Doom, but if you don't Doom Omniknight, that was without a Guardian Angel. They still have Guardian Angel up. That purification meant that Only was able to deal so much return damage before he died, and when you come at the king and you miss, he just punches you in the face. Zeke, actually, he blipped down there. Only could play very aggressively, choose to play a bit more defensively. Zeke, once again, is having a very difficult game. In terms of net worth, he's just barely above Snow. Snow is being so heavily shut down this game, it's not even funny. And when you pick an Ember Spirit, and you have a very difficult game like this, the reason why you are hosting the Ruckus, they love to run Ember Spirit in that one position role. Because Ember Spirit, he needs the Battle Fury before he can start fighting. He needs 4 points off the Sleight of Fist. You really don't want to fight 5-on-5 until you have those requirements, unless the rest of your team so far ahead that you just run out of snap. Ghoulie gets one, the Concussive Shot, the Hoop Stop as well as the Arcane Bolt, and Flash is actually able to steal that kill using the Scorched Earth. It's a typical Flash contribution to a gang. They should be able to take this tier 1 unless 5IP decides to respond before. But without their ultimates up, without the Reincarnate, and without the Chain Frost, they might not decide to charge this. So instead, Only on the top lane's actually got a fair amount of farm up on him. Will be interesting to see what item he chooses to go for. Molnir or the Maelstrom pickup very early on. The Wraith King works very well because it provides you a huge amount of DPS uplift. And Wraith King, he's got the 3rd best crit in the game. The Mortal Strike actually does more crit damage than the Coup de Grace, the same on the crit chance with level 4. Since Coup de Grace until it gets level 2, actually not that effective with the crit. And so Wraith King can actually be run as a hard carry because of that, especially since he opted to max out the Vampire Roar as well. So his job is to stand tall in these fights and just get in people's faces, especially, and with that Blink Dagger he could do that. Because he chose to wait to skill up his reincarnate before he needed it, he's able to do a huge amount of work. And Mule, he's going to be farming up his Aghanim Scepter in the next 2 minutes, and once that comes online, things are going to be looking very grim for Blink. They can't deal with 1 Warlock, especially since they don't have a natural diffusal carrier, they can't deal with 2. Especially if Mule gets lucky and gets a double Flaming Fist proc with the first hit that they get. Flash comes in, dooms out Wolfgun, and things can be taking a turn. Ziggy comes and catches out too. Omniknight immediately takes a fall. Ghoulie, Mech being used on him as well as the Warlock ultimate. Chain Frost drives back as well. Mr. Blade being used on Mule. Mule steadies ground with the Shadow Word. Again, it does get a good upheaval off. He actually kills Visage. Visage can back you up in the meanwhile. Snow actually looks like he's zepped out. Want to go for him, but they did back off. Only he doesn't have to reincarnate. He blinks on down there. And the Stampede being used, they do catch on Only he doesn't have that reincarnate, so if he takes a fall, things can be taking a drastic turn. Warlock doing so much damage in the backline. Zeke actually could be taking a fall, he's not too careful. What a lucky Flaming Fist proc, he's bleeding for his life right now. Poison Sting damage might actually be enough to kill him if he's not too careful. Unfortunately, it's only level 1. If it was level 2, it might have been enough damage. And so the Warlock ultimate, because it was forced and because it was a defensive ultimate, great team fight coming out in favor of 5IP. Only wasn't there in the thick of it, and because he didn't have reincarnate that, they really couldn't choose to take that fight. So Experience lead now going to be going 1,000 into Blink's favor, and in terms of gold lead, about 2,500 gold lead. Mule, once again, his Aghanim Scepter has been delayed. Until he gets that Aghanim Scepter, things are going to be looking good, especially since counter offering it on cooldown. It's a 2-minute window. Because they were able to doom Omniknight, the entire fight went in favor of Blink Dodo. So once again, every single time you doom the Omniknight, you should be able to win these fights. Because they're so heavily dependent on the survivability and the damage that comes up from the purification, that if you're not able to doom him, they can decide to leave turn. Because it doesn't matter who else you doom. Omniknight should be to keep him alive. The Shadow Word should be to keep him alive. The Shadow Word will out-heal the doom damage, or a good chunk of the doom damage. At this point, Doomburger now has the Blink Dagger up, so he was able to use that to set it up, so they know that he's going to blink. Brother, they weren't able to have the Fatal Bonds on top of the Poison Nova, so it was absolutely non-lethal damage. He's now got 2 points up on the Sting. Utilizing that ward, the advantage of Venomancer's spawn hero is every time you rotate and don't have vision, you drop a ward. The ward is absolutely overpowered. 5-second cooldown provides, it's essentially having free ward to the map. You can use them every single time they're on cooldown, capture the jungle on the spot, so when they're trying to rotate them for ganks, everywhere that they see. You can use them to Fantails, you can use them to push, you can even use them very aggressively to catch people out and block them off. And you can do this exactly this. Venomancer is a great gem carrier because he doesn't have to put himself in harm's way. You drop out the Venomancer ward, you dewarp him. There's no safe haven against a Venomancer. And we've got a gem up on Visage, and so Bambi, off all the kills he's been getting, is able to find out if Blink Dodo are able to start taking a few more towers, they're able to take tier 2 in the mid lane or tier 1 over in the off lane, they can start starving 5IP of gold. Because that's the only way they can start to turn this around. Especially since when all the ultimates are up, if 5IP actually get the jump over on Blink, and Omniknight doesn't get caught up with the Doom, they can win the fight. Every single fight they should be able to win that decisively, especially the sheer amount of damage coming out from their two supports with the Chain Frost as well as the Poison Nova on top of the Fatal Bonds. That alone can win them engagements. Never mind the Corelock offering, just the Fatal Bonds in conjunction with the Chain Frost or the Poison Nova is going to be enough. And only Reincarnate's now up. Looks like he could actually be opting to go for a BKB. Would like to see something like a Blade Man up on him because there's a lot of uncontrolled AoE coming out from him. He runs and catches that flash, that being forced. Yoshi, he's sitting there, Corelock offering drops, and Yoshi's going to be able to get a lot of damage. Got on the Fatal Bonds. Flash taking fair amount of damage. With that snap, he is able to disengage. The Bird Jump's coming in. The Aghanim Scepter now being revealed. Bird Jump does catch out 3 as well as the 2 golems. The golem is, the familiar's not taking a fair amount of damage. He is able to save them. Radiant's tower and fortification has been blocked. Snow split pushing the top lane, but split pushing without a battle theory is going to take you a very long time. And while that happens, Mule, he's picking out the tier 3. Once again, 5 IP. They know that when Blink are behind, things start to fall apart for them. So you have to press the advantage when they're behind, take objectives. They still have the goal lead. Experience has started to move in favor of Blink, but they still have that 5-on-5 team fighting superiority at the point with the Warlock gold. Looks like they could try to take the tier 1 tower. Since the tier 1 tower has no backdoor region, and there you go, Mule's picking it up. The golem should be the tank and they should be the bring down the tier 1 tower, or at least force out a fortification. Ember is eventually able to take the tier 1 over the top lane, so similar to a Warlock, he can constantly fly split pushing presence. So it's one of his biggest strengths. Mule TPing out as TP comes in from Yoshi, and Yoshi actually has to be very careful. He's not going to be able to stop the golems. The golems can actually kill him. He's not too careful. The Blazing Fist procs actually bring him down. Yoshi's going to be very careful. He is able to get the tower tonight. The fortification and TP support rotating in. More than happy to take that trade. And it looks like Omniknight going to be going for a Necronomicon to provide that pushing power. The reason why Necronomicon works well with the Omniknight is because the Necronomicon minions will actually out DPS most heroes, especially if you include the mana bond and the feedback coming out from the Mage. So Omniknight with the degen aura and with the upheaval on top of that, they're relying on their minions to do a fair amount of damage. Because if you're able to lock them down, it increases the time on target for both the Warlock golems and the upheaval and the Necronomicon minions. And with the upheaval set it up and the degen aura, they're not going to be able to escape the upheaval without 4 stars. That means that he should be able to destroy them within the upheaval. So Mule, all he has to do is drop the Corelock offering, Fatal Bond, and immediately upheaval and stand up. And the rest of his team should be able to clean them up, especially if he gets a good Fatal Bond or a good Corelock offering off to enable Brothers to be able to get that Poison Nova or quickly to be able to set up the Chain Frost. 5 IP, they have an astounding amount of magic damage, and so the way Blink can try to counter this is by going for, looks like Zeki's going for Pipe of Insight because they absolutely have to. There's no middle ground. They can't go for 3 BKBs because Ember Spirit, you never want to build a BKB with an Ember unless you absolutely have to. And that's what they have a lot of instant Hex, so a line that can blink in and catch you up with the Hex, and they have got Static Storm available from the Disruptor. Otherwise, you never want to go for a BKB because it delays your damage rounds. All you have to build on the Ember Spirit is damage. You should be able to position yourself effectively so that you're not getting controlled. And if you're not getting controlled, then once the battle theory and the Daedalus comes online, you've reached the point of critical mass where you can one-shot their enemy backline heroes with 1 Slay the Fist or maybe even 2. And so every time you throw a Slay the Fist, their support heroes have to back off. And so once you've reached that point, it's very difficult to reach high ground against an Ember Spirit. Unless you've got a way to be able to catch him out. Since when you Slay the Fist, if you drop a Corelock offering right as he zips back on top of it, you can try to go for a kill attempt off that. And every single time Corelock offering is off cooldown, 5 IP, the group can survive, they're moving and forced to take these towers because they know they have to keep on advantage. You can't fight against the Warlock ultimate, especially this early on, especially with 2 of them up. And with that Maelstrom now up and only, further amplifying the magic damage, Maelstrom works fantastically with the Fatal Bond, because it's not only amplifying the amount of damage you receive, with the Fatal Bonds as well, since Maelstrom gives you a huge amount of AoE damage presence, it enables you to do a huge amount of these fights, especially with the Poison Nova and Chain Frost on top of that. Only can't get the towers, with the Reincarnate and the Shadow Weapons and Purification available with the Frostnut armor, so he doesn't really give a damn about the creep wave or about the tower heading in. So they'll take that tier 2. They should actually be able to defend this tier 2 of their own, especially with Mule rotating in. The rest of his team have to start TPing in now if they want to try and defend this. They can drop the Corelock offering, have people TP in, but it looks like only he's actually playing very far forward. They're going to start reaching that high ground, so they trade tier 2 for tier 2. Actually a better trade for Blink, because they can't fight 5v5 right now, so you have to try to force these fights. And only he's actually left completely on his own right now. He's going to try to back off down. If he gets called out, things can start to turn around, especially if you're able to waste a Reincarnate. Aside from Familiars, looks like they're level 2. They are flying around to provide a bit of recon, never mind the level 1, as Visage is only level 9. He's going to be hitting level 10 very soon. If they lose that gem, 5 IP are able to get a massive advantage. Because in terms of experience leads, now in favor of Blink. Because with those kills, with the kill leader, with the fact that we're seeing a lot more solo experience, they're going to be getting ahead in terms of experience. And in terms of gold, once the gold leads up to move in favor of Blink, things start to look grim for 5 IP. Because while they do have a very powerful mid to late game lineup, Ember Spirit hard counters that lineup because he's not going to be called out by the rest of their team. They don't have anyone to really reliably control the Ember Spirit unless a Mule decides to go for a Hex, but he's going to be going for the Refresh Roll. So they rely on the Corelock offering as their only way to control the Ember Spirit. And so unless they're able to destroy him before he zips out, or if they catch him without mana or without remnants, which is becoming slimmer and slimmer, as he's almost got his battle theory now up, so he's always going to be having full mana or very close to it. He's able to continuously apply split pushing presence, and they don't have any way to be able to kill the Ember Spirits. The only thing they can do right now is group of 5, take these towers and try to force high ground and force the Ember Spirit to react to that, because they can't pick them off. Every single time Ember Spirit goes into a lane, he drops a random just like this, and they jump on them, because they don't have any instant hex or instant stun, he just steps out. So when you're playing against an Ember Spirit, Skywrath, Mage, or Disruptor, great pickups because you can catch them out with the instant silence, either the Static Storm or the Ancient Steel. If you catch him on either of them, Ember Spirit's dead. He's a very fragile, very squishy hero. He's entirely dependent on his abilities to provide him the ability to disengage and re-engage in his fights. If he isn't able to do that, he falls apart. He is only damage. He's literally made of paper, even if the paper is on fire. So if you do catch him out, if you are able to kill him, similar to a Tinker, if Snow gets caught out or if he dies and doesn't have buyback, they can breach high ground. If Broda actually opted for a blink tag to guarantee being able to get 3-4 man poison nova. And once the fatal bomb poison nova combo comes into play, 5 IP are able to out DPS blink, since they've got 1 BKB on Doom. And Doom, they don't really care if Doom BKB. So they kill everybody else, it's just Doom left. Doom, they just turn around and focus down. Once that BKB wears off, only can stun, only can stun. So the advantage of the BKB though is it lets Flash play very aggressively. Pops the BKB, blinks in, Doom's the only guy. That's his entire job, or every single one of his fights. If he doesn't do that, they can lose. So Necronomicon is 1 minute to use, who has his first sticky presence. Omniknight, Wolfcut, good recognition coming from him, playing very far back, and he's repelling Mule. Mule's the true character of the team because he's the one to be winning these fights. Only he's got the reincarnate, so he doesn't really care if he gets stunned. He actually can't turn out stun right now. Yo, Brad actually comes and catches that ball with that poison nova. Can't offer him to drop the sword. While he slayed the fist, he immediately turned around. Mystic Blade being whipped by Yoshi. Wolfguard's caught up with the Doom, but they actually might be able to survive, outlast it, and out DPS. And actually, the Slay the Fist comes in. Mule's going to be very low. He actually takes a fall. Immediately taking a fall as well. Zeke takes so much damage from the Flame Golem. And Mule, he's standing his ground, drops the counter offering. He's at level death because it immediately interrupts it. He's got the Shadow Word keeping it hale and hardy. The Warlock Golem's doing so much damage. The Slay the Fist doing a lot of work. This is Snow without a BK, without a Battle Fury. If he had a Battle Fury, the fight would be completely different. He had 1 remnant. He actually out of remnants for 2 more seconds. They can't bring it out. They do. Yoshi actually also going to be taking fall. I don't know why he was so far forward. He should immediately back when Snow's put out like that. Only catches out that flash with the sun. And he should be able to bring him down. He just smacks him down. And high ground has been breached. Doom forced to buy back, but Doom without Doom, not too much he can do there. He is able to bring down only. And Snow also forced to buy back. 5 IP, they immediately retreat because they know Blink have just thrown a huge amount of net worth away. If they win one more fight, Blink are done. They can't defend high ground. If they breach high ground against a lineup of 5 IP, it's going to be so much more difficult for them to recover. So Gold League, even though it is ahead slightly in favor of Blink, they've wasted so much gold now in terms of their net worth by forcing out these buybacks. And buybacks are on cooldown for the next 5 minutes. So all 5 IP have to do is back off. Find that farm. They don't need to build BKBs on any of their heroes because they've got the Omniknight. Mule, he's going to finish his refresh roll. He's actually going to be having it very soon. And when you're fighting against 4 Warlock Ultimate, especially if he's able to find level 3 count offering as well, Blink, they really have no response to it. They've got the BKB on Flash, but it did absolutely nothing. Even though he got a good Doomer over on Wolfguard, they were able to outlast him. He didn't even use Guardian Angel though. 5 IP, if they really wanted to, they can wait till their ultimates are up and then group up again, because they still have Guardian Angel. So Blink, they can't actually try to go for play offs because if they try to catch up the Omniknight and Omniknight's able to turn around the Guardian Angel with the Purification, things fall apart. And Broda, still level 9, he's been the most EXP star member of his team. But they're winning fights with only a level 1 Poison Nova. That's with the level 2 Poison Nova and the Fatal Bond, even though they've got the Pipe as well as the BKB. The only person that's got a BKB at the moment is Flash. Zeke did pick up a Blade Mail, so good recognition coming up from him. It will return a huge amount of damage back to 5 IPs of a huge amount of uncontrolled AoE. Since the Poison Nova, you can't control who it hits. Same with the Warlock Golems, the immolate damage will still be applying damage back to them. I believe Blade Mail has been changed, so it doesn't deal damage back to the player, it deals damage to the source. So the Warlock Golems are not really going to give a damn at the Blade Mail, since it's not going to be returning damage back to Mule. But Mule, he hasn't even been using upheaval effectively in these fights, it's still being another wipe for him. So things are looking very grim for Blink. And with that ancient stack being cleared up, he's actually building towards a Molnir, and if he gets the entire stack, he'll be having it. Raking with a Molnir is one of the most terrifying things in the game, because he's got the static storm buff, so you can't touch him. If you focus him, you're going to be taking more damage you're going to receive more damage than he's going to be dealing, even if he's stun locked, because the static storm buff constantly being able to apply AoE damage means that Yoshi's going to be eating his lightning crocs as well, and Yoshi can't afford to take any damage right now. If he's caught out of position, even in the slightest, and gets hit by any of the abilities, any of the CC coming up from 5 IP, he dies immediately. Skywrath Mage is made of absolute paper. So is the Visage. Looks like he's going for the Rod of Hours, so he's been building as much survivability as possible. Great item to Skywrath Mage, because it ensures that you can reliably land a Mystic Flare. You can custom shot, you Ancient Seal, you catch him out with the Rod of Hours, and you drop the Mystic Flare on that. That should guarantee a kill over on Broda as well as Ghoulie, maybe over a Mule, unless, never mind, no, he's got enough HP now. He's actually almost got the Refresher Orb, I believe it was about 400 gold off that. So once the Refresher Orb comes online for Warlock, it's going to be very difficult for Blink. They can just barely deal with 2 golems, even then, Snow, out of remnants in that fight. Every single time he's out of remnants, or the remnants on cooldown, he's finally able to find his Battle Fury, but 31-minute Battle Fury coming out from him, Zeke's actually still got more net worth than him. And you have to also consider the fact that about 500 of that net worth has been spent on buybacks. So Blink Dodo has to dip from behind, Zeke. Don't kill, only comes in. Blink Dog coming in from Zeke, good response coming in from him. Ghoulie can't choose to commit the chain frost. He wants to interrupt the TP. Looks like he wants to Dodo. He actually yield cycling himself up. So misplay's coming up from Ghoulie. Bit unfortunate. If they were able to capture Zeke, he could at least turn that around to a kill. But Wraith Distro coming in. It's the biggest weakness of Wraith Fire Blast. Wraith, that's the reason why Wraith King goes for the Blink Dagger, so you can ensure they can't destroy. You blink on top of them and then you start on point blank range. Because otherwise, if they can very easily blink dodge it if they've got a blink. If they've got any kind of way to destroy it, such as the puck phase shift or the sandstorm coming out from the Sand there's no longer can be considered reliable stuff. It's the only drawback to Wraith Fire Blast, because otherwise, in terms of efficiency, it's the most efficient single target stun in the game. 8-second cooldown, 200 damage, 20% snare afterwards, and that snares for 2 seconds on top of that. So 300 damage coming after that, so 200 at the very beginning, and then 2 ticks of 50 afterwards. And Snow doing the only thing he could do at this point is split push. Fortification being forced, he's now TPing back, they're going to be losing that tier 3 tower. So fortification's going to be wearing off. Broda comes in, catches up 4 heroes at the Venom scale. Chain Frost by guys, Zeke is able to catch up Broda as well as Ghoulie bring him down, only comes back to reincarnate. Counter offering now being used, and Zeke immediately pops like a pimple. He is able to return a fair amount of damage. No, not put up a Wraith Fire Blast, and only smacks him down. He doesn't care if he dies at this point. There's no buyback available. Zeke is the only one with buyback. Only it might be taken forward. His brother brings him down. So brother v brother, but with the 2 counter golems up, they should be able to take the set of racks, or at least do a fair amount of chip damage. They're going for the range racks, they know that they can't bring down the melee racks in time. They do a fair amount of chip damage before they back off. They force out the buyback once again, Blink. They're just barely able to hold, but they lose. They're forced to use a buyback every single time, but they're always losing Snow.
Yeah, I get it.
And so a very expensive tower for 5 IP, but because their lineup has so much more teamfight presence, and because they're at least killing Snow, keeping him down, now a Refresher Orb is up. So that was only 2 Warlock ultimates, and the level 3 counter offering is now available. And so you thought these fights were hard before, now that when there's 4 of them, especially if you drop them on Yoshi and if you drop them on Bambi, they will die instantly in this game. Zeke, able to return a fair amount of damage. The Broda playing Pulse Deep going in. He's acting as a suicide bomber. He's blinking in, catching out 3-4 heroes with the Nova, and then praying that the rest of the team can follow up. Roller Valleys now up in Skywrath Mage, and so you can use it against the Golem, so you've got that versatility coming out from him. But Ghoulie, with the Yule Scepter, he can actually use it to counter-initiate. If he gets caught out by Zeke blinking in, he can Yule Scepter himself up, destroy the Hoop Stomp, and then turn around and go for a kill. So good recognition coming out from Ghoulie, going for the Yule Scepter. Also on a hero like a Lich, you move extremely quickly. So 445 movement speed, he can actually he can outrun Skywrath Mage and make it very difficult for him to get picked off. He stays back in these fights. Omniknight, Necronomicon 3 now available, so they've got a huge amount of pushing power coming out. If they ever win a fight and catch him without buyback, they could go for a rack. They could actually even go straight for tier 4s or take out 2 sets of racks. 2 sets of racks with the amount of pushing power they have available. Familiar 1 being farmed up, Familiar 2 keeping himself alive for as long as possible, but he's trying to juke himself out. The entire team of 5 IP grouped up. No mercy being shown to Bambi, all his minions. We all know the fate of traitors in Dota here in Dota 2. He looks like he's gone for the Aghanim Scepter, he's almost got it. So once Bambi has that Aghanim Scepter up, he's going to be having the 3 familiars. And if he's able to stagger the drops out, which Bambi is very good with, he can turn these fights just at the back of familiar drops. But since the start of familiars, they actually do a huge amount of damage, especially if you're not able to deal with them very effectively. Ghoulie dropping 2 Sentry Walls to ensure the deny, starting out Blink's map vision, but they do still have that gem up. And Visage is a great gem carrier, simply because he can just run in, use the familiars to be a D-wall, because he's always got flying vision available, and so no wall is safe for him. Mule grouping up top once again, just leading the charge. He doesn't really give it down. He's got this count off and coming cooldown 15 seconds. Bambi can try to defend this, but unfortunately he used his ultimate before he bought the Aghanim Scepter, so he's only got 2 with him. And so I guess he wants to use it to try to save his familiars, but wasn't able to do so. Brodas, he really wants level 11. He's going to get out that catapult. They're backing up. There we go. Now he's got level 11. And so the level 2 Poison Nose is going to do a huge amount of work. But with a double Blade Mill being picked up by both Zeke as well as Doom, Brodas is always going to die in these fights. But he doesn't really give it down if he dies. If he can get a good Nova off like he's been getting, but if you follow that up with Fatal Bombs, you should deal enough damage that he should be able to win these fights decisively. And Ziki spots out only, but only's got reincarnate. He immediately blinks out. He blinks, trying to go on a mule. Wolfgun pops Guardian Angel before he gets caught out. Flash comes in, Doom, Wolfgun's jump on Guardian Angel. He doesn't give it down. Mule's actually caught out with the silence with the Ancient Seal. Ember Spirit has killed Venomancer in the background. Looks like he's got an overall. Only he's got reincarnate Angel. They're ignoring him. They don't catch up Mule. Mule jumps the remnants before he drops. He only gets on 2 of them though. Mystic Flare being used. They do clean up. Blink is somehow turning this. Only taking so much damage, and he gets reincarnated. They're able to bring down Snow. Only should be taking for this, but he could be a bring back. Now with the lightning comes from the Stag Storm. The Hammer of Thor doing work. He's also going to turn it around. You come at the king. You best not miss. That's another kill he gets. Double kill, maybe even a triple kill. Splash. Blink has been used. Oh, he's got the Wraith less available. He pops the flame out. The flame out isn't going to do anything. Oh, actually, they're doing it. 5 IP, they're able to win it, and that was without the refresher orb available. They can breach high ground now. As there's no heroes up, there's only buyback up on Snow. Snow's going to be forced to blow buyback. He cannot afford to rest on his laurels, especially with the Warlock golems charging. Even if they're going to die in about 20 seconds. With only up, with reincarnate coming up cooldown 20 seconds, this is a power of the carry position breaking. If you get level 3 reincarnate, if he buys back, he's going to have reincarnate up before he kills him. Ember Spirit forced to buy back. Rain Tracks immediately take a fall. Only he doesn't give a single fuck. He's got reincarnate coming cooldown 10 seconds. He stands his ground. The goals are still going for it. They might actually be able to kill him. He's forced to run. Actually, Snow missed him giving him in. He ran this while he's been slain. He takes a fall. That's a set of racks going in favor of 5 IP. Blink Dota falling apart at the seams. 2,500 gold lead. Now going in favor of 5 IP. Mana back, mana cools. Coming out from, actually, looks like one that plays disconnected. So Ember Spirit quickly doing a pause. And this could be the end of the life of Blink Dota. 5 IP might be the 3-1. Blink Dota, as with one set of racks down. With the counter offering available as they've got the refresher orb up. With the Mule actually BOTing in, things are looking very grim. He can push down the mid lane right now. He can actually go through top, drop the golems, and use them to take the tier 3. And so things are looking incredibly dire for Blink. If they make one misplay, if they aren't able to hold that second set of racks, they're definitely guaranteed to lose that first set. If Bambi gets called out by Only, since he can just blink fall on top of him, stun him, and smash him in the face, things can fall apart from them. They cannot afford to lose another fight. Especially with Snow, he's their only form of damage right now. This is the biggest drawback of their lineup. They are so dependent on Snow being able to deal this damage, but because Snow was so heavily shut down, Yoshi wasn't able to do anything to Mule in that mid lane. So we've got Divex coming up. Flash is now brought back. Flash, Doombringer without Doom is basically a giant melee creep, especially since he actually doesn't have any damage. Only he's got reincarnate. He doesn't give a single damn. He's tanking everything. But Mule, he pops the refresher orb. He's got the counter offering available. Flash BKB, he's going to be wearing off. It's actually worn off now. Mule can try to turn around, go for this. Only he's had the counter offering drops, and the 2 backlines supposed to be torn apart. Gale catches out. Stampede's being used to force them back. And then Shaw's a disengage. You'll step to catch that Flash and Flash. Say hello to my little friends, 2 golds and 1 direct fire blast. Only now comes, it should be cleaned up. Visage just clean up Warlock though. The Mule, he dropped his remnants. He's dropped his Warlock golems. He doesn't really give a damn. Ziki using the blame, keeping him back for as long as possible. But only with the repel as well as with the Momia bump up on him. You can't touch the king. And he starts smacking your racks. You've got Necronomicon 3 being popped. I believe they've just started up now. Never mind. Wolfgun is micro them. The range creep is in the air. Micro that range creep Wolfgun. Wolfgun please. He needs all the damage in the world. He's going to bring that second set of racks down. They've got no buyback up. Blink Dota, this is the end of the line for them. They're 2 sets of racks down. Even though the game is incredibly close, even though it's only a 5,000 gold lead in 5 IP's hands, when you're 2 racks down, against a lineup that has superior team fight to you, Yoshi, he might actually die to the golems if he's not too careful. The inlay damage or lucky flaming fist block will be able to bring them down. The golems, they start to show mercy, they start to turn around the creeps. One died, the other ones will be a fair amount of chip damage in that tower before he takes a fall. Blink, they're not tapping out. They know they can't change and go next because this is the last game. They have to do everything possible to stay in this game for as long as possible. Because they do have that comeback recovery with the Ember Spirit. If he is able to find a Daedalus in the next 5-10 minutes, they can try to turn these fights. Because the Ember Spirit does such an obscene amount of damage in engagements, if he's able to constantly disengage using his Remnant and throw out the Sleight of Fist, he can outlast the Guardian Angel, he can outlast the Golems, and he should be able to turn the fight around. But only because he's reached critical mass, because Wraithing is now so tanky that you have to focus him, but you can't kill him even if you do. Wraithing is doing a huge amount of work in these engagements. And the fact that Snow, he actually did a huge miss on the top lane. He should have lived there. He tried to Remnant out while he was still slicing. And so he immediately returned back to the Remnant. Because he mistimed that, he threw away his life. Because he didn't have enough time to drop on the Remnant before he was stun locked. And Mule, so we've got Blame House being bought up. Ghoulie has a Blink Dagger and a Yule Scepter. Ghoulie doesn't need any team to set up for his Chain Frost. He can set up his own damn Chain Frost now. He's got Bambi's gem. So former teammate able to prize a gem off his cold dead corpse. Omniknight going to be going for what looks like a Lincoln Spear, or he can be going for a Sheep Stick. Sheep Stick will be fantastic in Ember because it forces him to go for a BKB then. If you catch him out with the Hex, he is dead every single one of these fights. And Corelock offering, actually with the 4 golems up, they might actually be able to kill Snow just by using the Corelock offering. So Corelock offering, you've got the 1.5 second stun, it's 1 second stun with staggered because you've got the Agni Scepter, you refresh, you drop it again, then you got the Red Fire Blast on top of that, they've got enough damage to kill Snow before you can run them down. And since the Corelock offering has such a massive engagement range, it's incredibly difficult for Snow to hang back in these fights. He has to wait and use the rest of the team as meat shields. But the drawback to this is because of Doombringer, he's going for all this utility, all survivability, he doesn't have any damage. Their only source of damage is the Ember Spirit. And at this point, he's not even doing too much damage. Families do Skywrath or Shadow Time, and this can be the turnaround for Blink. If they go in for a turnaround, they can try to turn but only like 1k quick. Zeke catches up too, he runs into the rest of the team. Immediately, Mule gets popped off, Guardian Angel being used, Brother stands, got Chaincraft, flying back and forth between Flash as well as by Zeke. Zeke keeps himself alive as long as possible. Only he pops the BKB, he's got the Reincarnate available. Doom actually brings down Omniknight. Ends the spree. Snow was able to remnant himself out in time, but 2 remnants being used. He's only got 1 more remnant left, and only he's been kited to all hell. And remnants are now available. Actually, looks like one was the first Serenchain combination, wasn't able to join it. And the Reincarnate is coming up. But while that happens, Mule buys back, Blink, Babby, Smarter, gets smacked down, 4 golems coming at you! You can't run from the flaming golem Zeke. Able to blink himself out, try to keep himself alive for as long as possible. Broad actually takes a huge amount of damage from once with the fist crit. Snow discharging once again, he's now out of remnants. He cannot afford to let his health get picked up. Only on the hunt, turns around the remnant over on the familiars, but they can just go for high ground right now. They're going for their megas, they're going for their objectives, because they know that you can't recover from megas. They're going to go for Roshan first and they'll look at it just to be able to ensure that they don't lose that next fight. So Green coming up for 5 IP, they've learned from Horseman Arrakis, when they're ahead, don't throw the game. Only looks like he's going to be the one picking up the edges, never mind Warlock. So now Blink, the only way to win this fight is if they kill Mule before he drops his ultimate. But now, before Warlock ultimate's up, with the refresher of Culmination coming up cooldown in 2 minutes, they don't even have to try to reach high ground. They can play passive, they can stay back. Broda, for the Necronomicon minion of his own. Even though Broda's been the suicide bombers for his team, every single Poison Nova he's learned has been able to catch up 3-4 heroes. And with the lack of BKBs, the only BKB is up on Flash. And Doombringer, it doesn't really matter if he stays alive in these fights. He can't turn a fight at 1v5 the same way the Ember Spirit can, or the same way the Wraith King can, especially with the amount of farm that Only has. Only with the BKB up as well as the Reincarnate, they have to completely ignore him. And so Wraith King is going to be opting for a lot of damage now. Assault Cuirass will be the perfect item for him, so it gives him everything he needs. More survivability, so he can actually 1v5 and man fight the entire team. It gives him the armor of the rest of the team, actually pinging out Wolfgun to give him that goal. And with that Hyperstone picked up on them, it gives him a decent amount of attack speed. And Wraith King, with that Model Strike, is the 3rd best in the game. He is actually a very powerful one-position hard carry if he's able to get shots. And with the Blink Dagger up on him, with the share on that gold, they can't kill him. And because they can't control him, Broda drops his ultimate before he dies, he's doing as much damage as possible before he takes a fall. Yoshi actually might be forced back to the Fountain of Fondness. The Poison Nova does pick up the gem though. And Bambi immediately backs off. They're playing it very safe. Blink Dota, they still can recover from this. The game still is very even. In terms of gold, it's only a 7,500 gold lead. This is a very marginal gold lead, especially considering the amount of action happening back and forth between both teams. In terms of experiences, they're absolutely even. Blink, that being said, they have expanded about 1,500 gold from each of their heroes in terms of buybacks now. So then in terms of net worth, they are significantly behind. But Warlock, they're just going to wait until the golem is available, and once that's up, they're just going to run down through the bottom lane. It's going to be very difficult for them to stop. They've got the fortification available, just a slow siege from the Necronomicon minions, and with the 4 golems beating on your door, they should be able to take a set of tower without risking their heroes. But Mule, going to be saving his Corelock offering until he has an opportunity to hit 2-3 heroes, because that's when you can start a fight, that's when you can win it. Especially with the refresher available, especially with only with a Blink Dagger, actually opted for a Cranium Basher. It's a good recognition coming up from him. He wants to lock down Snow. Abyssal Blade on a Wraith King is absolutely horrifying. It met some crit harder than the PA. He's going to be hitting about 1,000 crits. He's got the Molly to bring, give him all the attack speed in the world. He's doing a huge amount of AoE damage, which is going to be further amplified by the Fatal Bonds. They're going to wait for Brother to catch up with them, and then barrel down the bottom lane. And Blink, this is the line in the sand. If they're not able to hold the last set of racks, there's going to be game over for them. Because so far, it's so difficult for them to try to recover. They can definitely recover with the Ember Spirit. He's got the Crystals now up. He needs a lot more damage to be effective. And they're smoking up. The advantage of once high ground being reached is you don't have to go down through the lane with the racks. You can go through here, catch him on the side. And it looks like what 5IP is going to be doing. Wolfgun, he's going to be the retail magnet for his team. He's exposing himself to try to bait out a Blink Hoofstop coming out from Zeke or a Blink Doom coming from Flash. But instead they break the smoke, they go on the remnants. And Babby, without the remnants, he's got the resummon available. But he no longer has the ability to be able to use Remnant to be able to drop, resummon, and then drop again. So he's lost his chain CC ability. Aegis is going to be reclaimed in 3 minutes. Mule, he's got to repel up on him. So 12 seconds of magical vulnerability with a 2-second downtime. That's slow siege with the Necronomicon minion. This is the power of the Necronomicon, is even if at this point if you are feeding them, you're doing so much chip damage, it's still worth it. You've got the Necronomicon still available from Omniknight. So they're splitting them to ensure Brother comes in once again, catches out 2, catches out another one with the Gale. Snow immediately dies in the Chamberlain. Bambi also taking 4. GG's, this is going to be it. Doom is well committed by catching out Wolfcar. They are able to turn this, they actually kill 3. Blinker holding the line, but Ziki being smacked up by the goals. Mule gets a double kill. He just stands and turns. Flash bleeding for his life, doing everything he can. The Mule gets a triple kill, and only Lee the charge. He blinks in. He doesn't give a damn. He's got the reincarnate available. He's mad running against Flash. Eats the double edge. He finally dies. And while that happens, space is being created. Mule Walker only doesn't actually really care if he dies at this point. He's created so much space for his team, you can't recover from Mega Creeps. Once Mega Creeps come in, you no longer have any gold income, as all the creeps are only providing half the amount. They actually have an LTP as 0. Flash! He blocks the very best with Mule! Stands the ground, smacks the test. Who's next? He doesn't die, he's got the HD model, 4 golems are still up. And Yoshi immediately on the run. The imminent damage might actually be enough. He runs to the try going for a turnaround kill. He might be the get, but he tracks his own life. The golem's now working over on Bambi, the farming of his familiars. The flaming fifth proc, so a huge amount of work, he kills 2 immediately. The golems are still up. You can't touch the golems. Ziggy trying to draw the Mega Creeps away from the Tear Force. The golems are still doing damage. They're smashing the HUD stuff. There's no safe haven for the Dire side. And all 5 IP have to do now is wait for the ultimate to come off cooldown, wait for the refresh ult to come off cooldown, and then group up and go for another push. They don't even have to kill Blink. All they have to do is just use their minions, use the slow sieging power from the Necronomicon 3, from the quad golems coming out from the Warlock, and just smash their Tear 4 towers. Snow, very unfortunate, the chain CC coming up from the Corelock offering, the Great Fire Blast, and the Chain Frost being used by Ghoulie, because 5IP realized that Snow is all that damage. Flash, he might look big, bad, and scared of that flaming sword, but like Stas Baratheon, he isn't doing shit. If he runs at you, use a stand your ground and kill him. And we've got the cocky players coming up in 5IP. Well, Mega Creeps up, it's very difficult for them to be the defenders. Because not only do they have to constantly defend their lanes, it's difficult for them to recover. Because in terms of gold, they're getting half the amount of gold and half the amount of experience from each of these creep kills. So Snow, he's the only one that can turn the game around if he's able to find enough farm. Mule, Smack Talk coming up from them. 5IP, well known for their trash talking, with Wolfcar leading the charge. Ziki looks like he's going for a Heaven's Halberd. He will be able to farm it up before the next fight, but the Heaven's Halberd isn't really going to be enough. If you do disarm only, as long as he's got the reincarnate, he doesn't really give a damn. Only can just YOLO dive the entire enemy team and buy space for everybody else. Because it's so damn hard to kill him once, killing him twice, it requires you to expand everything. And when you're doing that, the Necronomicon minions and the Corelock offering golems are just smacking your Tear Force. And 5IP, they can actually just choose to just AFK for the next 5 minutes. And Blink can't really recover from this because it's so difficult to push out. They still have Tear 2s up in the mid lane. The only lane that can push out if they want to win this is the bottom or at the top lane. That's going to be, even that's going to be very difficult. They actually lost to Tear 4 just to attrition damage. So 5IP, they can actually sit there, AFK in the fountain, and trash talk Blink until their throne falls. Because they're using everything to try to defend us. They're playing Enfos right now. We're no longer playing Dota 2, we're playing Enfos. You can't win Enfos, you just get a little better every single time. You try to hold out for as long as possible, but the creeps will eventually overwhelm you. Yoshi almost died to the range creeps. He actually might be taking 4. He dies to creeps. 5IP, they can just AFK and the game will be won for them because the only hero that can prevent the creeps from getting breaching that Tear 4 is the Ember Spirit. He can't out DPS the Mega Creeps. He can deal it, maybe it's a super something creep. Ghoulie, playing so far forward, he doesn't give a damn now. Snow going YOLO in. Guardian Angel being used, Corelock offering 1 being used, Corelock offering 2 now being dropped as well. Flash takes the 4, only comes in. GG won't play it, Blink says being called. 5IP, 3-1 Blink to be a new champion of the OUSA Dota League Season 2. Round of applause to your boys of 5IP. And what's the boys from Blink? It's been 6 weeks of struggle, hardship, and throws, but they're finally able to do it.
Fuck yes!
And that looks like it for tonight. Next weekend, I will be casting the Aspect of Gaming Dota 2 Community Crackdown. If you haven't signed up for it yet, and you have a team that's ready, willing, and able, sign up for it. Sign-ups and believe close at the end of tomorrow. And we need $10 to sign up. They're up to 64 teams allowed, and the prize pool is over $1,000. If you make it to the top 8 teams, a guaranteed prize pool money or giveaways. So it's definitely something to check out if you're a team really willing to play. But that will be it for now. Thank you for joining me on this journey. It's been a hell of a night. We had a few delays with the League of Legends Championship taking so long, but we're finally here. Looks like a good night. 49 going to be signing up for the last time for a little while. Stay tuned, everybody, and thanks for watching.